Welcome to Real Talk Christian Podcast, where we drink coffee and have real conversations on faith, culture, and society. This is Booster Seat Marc Hyde, and I'm Chris.
Today, guys.
And I'm Chris Fuller.
I'm tall today.
And on today's episode, the first week of December, we are going to be talking about what is Advent and why do we celebrate it. Are you ready for this special occasion?
I'm ready, my dude. You ready?
Let's go.
Let's go. Bro, why you gotta play me like that?
Well, I told you I was going to save the
Why
joke.
you gotta play me like that?
So, in case you all haven't noticed, if you're not watching YouTube, you should probably go because Marc Hyde is about 3 feet taller than me right now with his booster seat.
My booster seat.
He broke the studio chair. Your big butt, skinny guy in here broke the studio chair, but the fat guy standing strong.
You know, it's probably because Beth left me with a lot of meatloaf. I think that's really what it comes down to.
It's a heavy-hearty meal.
Because, so a couple weeks ago, Beth left me by myself, and we ate meatloaf that week. We posted it on Facebook group. Sure. And then I had 3 more meals of meatloaf.
Jeez.
And I had Sloppy Joe left over, and a whole lot of fried up potatoes, some mac and cheese.
And then you came in here and broke the chair.
And so your boy will probably overate. Because I don't know what happened.
Hearty.
But seriously,
Hearty
I
meals.
sat in the chair and I'm like, dude, something's not right. Like, this feels weird.
He's like, do you hear the pop?
And then all of a sudden, a spring goes.
He's like, man, what's this? He goes, lift it up. You see the spring popping out the bottom of the chair.
God, man, they put these springs up with these cheap staples. Like, they didn't even screw these suckers in. They just went.
I can tell you, I'm going to screw it in.
Well, don't go too tall because then I don't want to.
You only want a half-inch screw.
Let's say, because if I sit down and I sit on a screw, I think that's worse than a broken chair. So needless to say,
he'll become Michael Jackson real quick.
I mean, I love Janelle's kitchen chairs. I mean, I've had a great many meals at that table with these chairs, but I miss my comfy chair already.
Yeah.
So yesterday, what's today? Friday. So yesterday, we were down at Riley's Children's Hospital all day because we got some sad news, bad news, depends on how you look at it, about Lennox's progress inside of Beth. And we found out that dude's got some heart issues, gonna need some surgeries right after he's born. And so we're gonna have a bit of a journey. Yeah, with him being born a few hours away, plus having to be down there for who knows how long. I mean, we got some good news that it might be better than what it could it's better than what it could have been.
Sure.
It's not worst case scenario, but it's still not good.
Yeah. Well.
So by this point, the kids know the data recording.
Listen.
Not many people know, but
listen.
Yeah.
God is a big God.
God is a big God.
You never know. He could heal it right there.
But needless to say, yesterday I sat on comfy chairs all day because Beth had 2.5 hours of ultrasounds and then tests and then results and then this and then that and lots of time in the car and oof. So needless to say, your boy's tailbone ain't feeling so good right now.
Well, that's cool.
Your boy's tailbone is not feeling so good, but we're here, baby. We're podcasting, and you little.
Yeah. I gotta apologize.
I keep looking at the YouTube, like our what do you call it?
Focus here.
Well, that's the camera. Those are the people.
Focus
but like
here.
our confidence monitor, like you just look like a midget.
I am a midget.
You look like a midget
because you're riding in a booster seat. It's about time you were yay tall to ride this ride.
Now, I'm officially no longer knee high to a grasshopper. I'm like thigh high to a grasshopper.
But
now.
You're still a grass fairy. Anyways,
I still am a grass fairy.
So I have to pre-apologize. I just ate a bunch of dinner, and so if there's some coffee burps to come later, that's a very real possibility. But bro, I know I saw in our Facebook group, the Real Talk Christian Podcast community page.
Yo, that group is going fun. It's been fun.
You asked, hey, what should we banter about tonight?
Did.
So what are some of those questions, my friend?
I am looking them up right now. Okay, so we had some really interesting ones that people have been asking questions about, and they're newer listeners to the show.
Sure.
The cool thing is we have like 100 and we have a butt ton of episodes.
This is 172 minus the bonus episodes.
We have a butt ton of episodes. And so if you ever want to know, hey, did Marc talk about that? Go to the website, realtalkchristianpodcast.com, hit the search button, and then you can search the episodes.
Just type in Halloween. That was
there
the one that was a few weeks back.
And they all just show up magically. And so then they let you know what number you want to listen to so then you can go listen to it in Spotify. Or I guess in Spotify you could do Real Talk Christian Podcast or you could then search the title.
You could just click on the episode and it gives you right there. It gives you all your stuff from Apple Podcasts to YouTube to
but it doesn't take you to the direct episode link in all those places because that takes way too much time.
Yeah, but it gets you close enough.
Hey, it gets you to the place that you want to listen to.
Sure. So, anyways, what do we got, my friend?
All right, so this question is from Sabrina. And this question is do you want Board games or card games?
Ooh.
Janelle already answered this on the Facebook group, by the way.
It depends, right? So if I'm out camping, I want card games. If I'm away from home, I want card games. If I'm at home, I'm a board game fanatic.
Okay, so what's your go-to? Like, what your top two? What's like your top two board games that you're like, let's just whip them out and play it?
I would have to say probably Settlers of Catan.
Oh, I feel like we've asked this question before on the show. I feel like we talked about Settlers.
I would probably have to say Risk.
Yeah, we definitely talked about that one.
Both strategy games.
Both strategy games. See, I used to be more of a board game guy because that's all we played growing up as kids. Like,
Sure.
my mom is a board game person, like
Right.
big time board game. But lately, probably since Beth, I've been a lot more into card games because we play a lot of like Hand and Foot.
Yeah.
We play. Oh my goodness, what's that other one that I hate? Books and Runs. We play Books and Runs.
One of these days, we need to get you and Beth over here, and we need to play the Crazy 8 game.
Like OG little kid Crazy Eights.
No. The Crazy 8 like adult version. I'll teach it.
Is that like Cards Against Humanity? Like,
No.
there's an adult version and a kid version?
No,
'Cause that seems kind of awkward.
No.
That seems kind of weird. But
Dude,
no,
who are you talking to? I ain't one of your bougie friends.
Oh, that we're gonna talk about that in a couple weeks. We're gonna talk about
Next
how,
week.
how bougie can you be bougie?
Anyways.
Next week is how bougie is bougie for
Bougie is
Christians.
bougie.
Okay. So
is that next week?
I don't know. I don't know. I put my notes in. You
it's 2
ordered
weeks.
it.
Maybe it's 2 weeks. I don't remember.
Either way.
Anyways,
so here's so to answer the question, for me it's card, for you it's board, but
Probably board games.
But when we're out, it's 100% card games.
100%.
I agree with that one. This person said, which we've done this one before, Marvel or DC.
So we have done this one before, and I'm a huge DC fan because of Batman, but I have probably gotten more into the Marvel universe lately, and I've really enjoyed some of the storylines they've brought forward.
Yeah, I like just the Marvel universe.
But
100% Marvel universe.
But I like
I like Marvel universe.
DC has done some fun things with the DC universe. I just wish they would do more.
They did a lot with TV shows for a while before Disney started doing
The
them.
TV shows just aren't as good.
See, some people love Flash and Arrow and all those.
I just thought they drug on. The storylines were too slow, or it was like the same episode every week, just a different person.
Okay,
it's
so
like, so it's like watching, Gotham. Gotham was pretty good the first couple of seasons.
Okay,
And then
I've never seen a single
and then
episode.
it kind of just droned on because it was like, okay, it's the same thing. Okay, it's the same thing. Okay, it's the same thing. And it's just like, all right.
Did Arrow feel like that? And I did not even watch those.
Yep, it definitely did.
See, I never watched a single one. So,
anyways,
put it this way: if one's coming to the theaters and I have to choose one or the other, it's a Marvel movie.
So Marvel is probably the better universe.
All right, I got two more fun questions. Two more. This one is more of a serious one. The next one I think we'll have fun with. So Amanda wants to know, if you hadn't chose the profession you are in right now, what would your dream profession be?
Actor.
Really?
Some type of actor. Dude,
Marvel or DC?
I'm a drama kid.
Yeah, drama king. He's a drama king, guys.
Well, that too.
He's a drama king.
But
His feelings get hurt.
I love doing dramatic stuff all the time. I mean, that's just me.
Were you part of the drama club, like that's up in Niles and whatnot?
Well, I was part of the homeschool.
The homeschool, yeah.
The homeschool drama club.
There's one down in Bremen. Is that the one you were a part of? Or
They were
was that
actually.
back in the
It was
day?
this whole Michiana was like all one drama club.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So you would definitely be in some sort of theater or drama.
Yeah, probably
Musical or like theater.
I do enjoy musicals. Yes,
you? Okay.
I do. I thoroughly do. That would probably be like. So we went and saw earlier this year. We took the girls to go see at Bethel the Beauty and the Beast musical play, and I was just like, I know what they're doing back there, and this is what I'd be doing. And I'm sitting here like reliving the
glory
past
days
in these people, and I'm
glory
like,
days.
man, that was so much fun. But like when Janelle and I were first dating. I used to take her to plays and dramas all the time. To the musicals and stuff all the time. I love doing that kind of stuff.
That's cool.
I'm very cultured.
You is cultured.
I like bougie coffee and I like to go to the ballet. I do enjoy the ballet.
Fit for the crown.
I do enjoy the ballet.
Do you really enjoy the ballet?
I do.
I'm impressed by it.
I really
but I don't really care.
Really want to go to the Nutcracker this year. I really do.
At the Morris?
Yes.
Beth went last year.
That is
with
probably
Ava.
one of my favorite ballets.
Speaking of Christmas, see, I love musicals. Like Hamilton, I watched Hamilton again today.
I wasn't very impressed.
And I know what's.
Maybe I would be if I was like there watching it.
Did you watch it?
I watched it on TV. So here's the thing, right?
I cry. Almost cry every time. I almost cried again.
When I watch musicals and plays on TV, they don't hit me like they do if I'm in the audience.
Okay. That's fair.
I'm one of those people.
Like I do want to go see Hamilton. I want to go see Hamilton.
It may hit me if I went and saw it.
Yeah, I would love to go see Hamilton.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I watched Hamilton again today just because
Nice.
I had to. Someone made a post about it. I'm like, it's going down, and I had watched it when George Washington was talking about like one last time at the very end. I'm like, don't cry, man. And then when Alexander Hamilton's son, died in the duel, almost cried again. And then at the very end, almost cried again. And I'm like, this ain't okay. I'm trying to work.
Well, you're a big
It's just
softy
emotional.
like me.
It's
All right.
emotional.
What's our last question?
I
real
didn't
fast?
answer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My dream profession?
I'm sorry.
I don't know, because like the goal is always to be a pastor for me. Like that was the goal. Like undergrad, graduate school, all the things was always pointing to be a pastor.
I can already say it. All right. You just be an influencer. That's what you'd be.
So what I do?
No. Because I'm talking about like big influencer.
Like Trey Kennedy or
not like the little stuff we do.
You mean like the Alan Parr and the...
Yeah, like that type of pastor, like influencer.
Okay, so I would love to do more of the type of stuff that Preston Sprinkle does, like with Q. Not
you
Q
would
now,
be
but like
you
Q.
would probably do good like a Justin Briley type.
I
thing.
would thoroughly enjoy that.
Like
I would enjoy every second
getting
of that.
two sides in
Actually-
to go at it with each other. Dude, I've listened to a lot of Justin Briley this week. Let's just put it that way.
I love me some Justin
I
Briley.
do too, man. He's so good. Anyways,
But
yeah.
I did talk with Beth because I'm like, man, because we were listening to Bobby Bones the other morning, and I'm like, I think I would love to do something like Bobby Bones. How cool would it be if RTC could start? We're not doing it. Do not quote me. Of like multiple times per week, and we're just hanging out for like 4 hours every day, and that was our job.
the only
that
way
would be awesome.
The only way that could happen is if we started getting an income like Rush Limbaugh.
I mean, we would have to have so much
Because it would have to
be ridiculous.
we would have to have a staff. Honestly, we would. We'd have to have so right now, and I know people get frustrated with us. Like we don't always get back to people, and sometimes we forget about
But
emails.
it's literally just us and Janelle.
It's just us. And well, Janelle doesn't even answer really. I mean, she will in the Facebook group, but most of the time it's like the only thing she does is like send out packages for us.
Which is awesome.
But if we don't put it in, then she doesn't take them out.
That's true.
So
That's true.
But most bigger podcasts have whole staffs, and we don't have that.
But no, I agree.
We're-
I think
we're
my
two dudes
dream
with a booster
profession,
seat.
I would say something legit like with radio or hardcore podcasting.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I could see you doing something like that, some type of big time influencer. So
you ready for the fun question that we could fight about and talk about literally for an entire episode?
okay, I will.
Favorite 90s and 2000s rock band?
Ooh,
Rock.
Wait, Christian or like Christian rock?
Christian
or
rock. Sorry,
just
yes,
rock?
Christian rock. And the further he says examples: Audio A, Reliant K, Newsboys, or anything else you can think of. And my answer is very
Wait,
simple.
you can't add Newsboys in there. They were.
I know they're a little different, but they got a little rock though. They're like the weird alternative stuff from down under. I don't know. But mine is OG Hawk Nelson with Jason Dunn, not the new stuff with Steingart, but the OG Hawk
really
Nelson.
like the OG Hawk Nelson.
Letters to the President, baby. He started a second
But
band.
I would probably say if I had to go
really
back in the day, it probably would have been 12 Stones
Ooh.
or Reliant K.
I'm surprised you didn't say Switchfoot, to be honest with you.
I did love Switchfoot. I absolutely love Switchfoot, but I wouldn't have considered them the best. They were good, but
they're probably they're
they
like
weren't the best in my opinion.
they're like the U2 of Christian music. They're still kicking and
are.
still making movies now.
well, yeah, but
and
so is
touring. They're coming to South Bend.
I think isn't Reliant K might be still putting out
they
some
were
stuff
touring
here
a couple
and there.
years ago.
Yeah, right. So, but yeah, those would probably be my.
But
two
my
picks. 12 Stones
favorite,
is awesome.
my favorite was OG Hawk Nelson.
Now, if we're gonna go to heavy metal, it's probably becoming the Archetype, like OG.
That's
90s,
is that one of
2000s.
Soche's big bands too that he likes?
I don't know.
I think so.
I
You
know
like that one, right?
I know he has heard them. I don't know if he
Wolves
likes
at the
them.
Gate is his favorite,
Yeah.
but that's recent.
Under Oath.
OG,
Under
not
Oath.
the
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah, when they dropped their new CD, like recently, we were like, "Oh, Under Oath is back," and there was an F bomb in the first 5 seconds. We're like,
I'm talking old
We got
school.
questions.
I'm talking about late
Can't
90s,
play that in youth group.
early 2000s Under Oath.
Yeah, I mean, there was the almost there like that whole Tooth and Nail, anything Tooth and Nail, man.
pretty much, yeah.
Emery, that was
Yeah,
a good
Emery
one.
was a
Stellar
good
Car, I
one.
love Stellar Car.
Stellar
Thousand
Car
Foot
was
Crutch.
okay.
I was a
1000 Foot
big
Crutch was all right.
I preferred FM Static
Skillet was
though.
OG Skillet was really
OG
good.
Skillet.
I can't say I've enjoyed their newer stuff though.
I like their newer stuff.
It's okay.
But
you know who really rocked? Barlow Girl. Barlow Girl and
Yes.
Fireflight. Those two girl
Fireflight
plays.
was fantastic.
So I actually
100%.
had an opportunity to meet Fireflight.
Remember the Super Chick song Barlow Girl? All the boys in the
Oh,
band
yeah.
want a Valentine
But I met-
from a Barlow Girl.
But I met Fireflight.
At Pulse Fest?
No, at
Because they were at Pulse Fest.
Venetian Fest. Remember the Venetian Fest? It was in St. Joe, Michigan.
No, I've never heard of this one.
So Paul's old band opened up for him, but their bassist couldn't play, so they had me play bass, and we sat backstage and just shot the breeze with Fireflight. It was awesome. It was like the coolest experience.
So
ever.
you actually got to hang out with them.
I got to hang out with Firefly.
If
they were so down to earth too.
If we had Getty again this year, can we do that? Please, Matt.
I just want. I want to go
please?
do like the backstage like interviews that they can put up on the
so
jumbotron,
awesome.
like just me and you. And
Or
like
to be
them.
honest, we're gonna just throw this out there.
We'll
Create extra content. We'll bring the camera. We'll set up the stuff. We'll record all the stuff for you guys for socials.
The good thing is, right, is
we're mobile, baby.
We're willing to do it for
we're
free.
We're mobile, baby.
We're really willing to do it for free for you.
Beth and I were kicking around an idea of should Getty be like the annual RTC meetup where she cooks all of her meatloaf. And then
I think it should. I think we should do something like that.
Then Janelle's got to cook something.
Janelle's got a lot of recipes.
She does got, but I'm trying to think of like what was like the signature one that you always freaked out about. That was super unhealthy.
The chicken crack, man.
So we have chicken crack and meatloaf.
There we go.
And then we drink coffee all day long.
Chicken crack.
And it's already at a campground, so it's already a place for us to sleep. And then they have a whole chapel for us to hang out in.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
That'd be so cool.
All right, so let's dive in. The coffee we're drinking, I don't remember what coffee is. It was literally the leftover scraps. Janelle goes, hey, I just want to let you know the last of the coffee is in the pot. I go, okay, I guess you got to go to...
Now I feel bad because I could have brought some really good stuff.
No, I said, well, I guess you got to go to Walmart and get some Dunkin' because that's like the only other store-bought coffee I can actually tolerate.
I thought you liked Kalamazoo coffee, though.
I do from Martin's, but she's going to Walmart.
It's all
so
Dunkin'.
It's like just buy Dunkin'.
Yep.
At Walmart, you buy Dunkin'. That's it. Like original Dunkin', not just original Dunkin', and I'll be good.
Yep.
Because I could drink that black all day long. But yeah.
But I just yesterday when we were in India, of course I had to go back to Quill's, so I went back to Quill's Coffee. So I picked me up some Quill's. I got a little bit of Onyx still at home. I got 4 Horseman blend from Stop and Chocolate at home. I got Embassy Roasters in Goshen. I have their decaf. Nice. It's really yummy. See, I could have brought stuff, bro.
It's all good. It's all good
stuff.
So
we're just drinking caffeinated warm goodness. It's
a little weak, but
I like it a little weak though. You know me. I like mine a little weaker.
You like it a lot more watery than I do. That's okay.
I like it bright.
I like it to be run several times through the Yum Yum machine.
I like pour over, baby. Give me that V60.
I like the full body. Anyways, so the review that we have comes in from Noel CP. Right? Noel?
I'm not assuming anything.
I'm going to go NOELCP. I'm going to go Noel CP is what I'm going
Or
with.
I have a friend named Noe. It's NOE. Noe LCP.
No Elk P. How about that? Just totally butcher it.
Yeah.
Anyways, it says
Nolik P.
5-star review. It says my favorite. I love listening to you guys on my way to work every morning. Y'all make my day.
And hopefully you're okay with us making fun of the handle because that's what we do when we're uncomfortable.
That's when we don't know what to do. We revert to that.
Oh, good. But, bro, we are officially in the Christmas season. Thanksgiving is bygones. It is December, which means it's my birthday month. It's my birth month, December 19th, baby. And it's also Jesus's birthday celebration, too. So, got to keep things in order, proper perspective, you know? But we're officially in December.
Yeah, so... I was mulling over this week of like, all right, we're time of recording. We always got to do this. Hit out your bingo card if you ain't got one. Go to the Facebook page to get it. Time of recording is October 18th or 28th. I almost said 18th.
Wow, 28th, man.
The 28th.
We're going trick or treating Monday. What are you doing?
Not that. Happy Reformation Day. Anyways, so I was mulling over what should we podcast about, and I'm like, well, it's first week of December, and then I started thinking about church. And I'm like, oh, it's the first week of Advent. Okay, well, do people really know what Advent is, where it came from, and why we actually celebrate it?
Let's talk about that.
Because I'm not sure people do, and so let's talk about it.
Especially if you're a part of church tradition that does Advent every single year. Maybe you don't know.
So I didn't know what Advent was, and we first started coming to South. I mean, we did it at my other churches, but like it was Southside when
Southside is a tradition.
When I really dug into it, that's when I was like, oh, okay, I'll figure out what the heck Advent is.
And I do want to pause and just say this: wait till the end of the episode because we're doing something special for RTC for Advent this season. So you gotta wait till the end, and we're gonna tell you about it.
All right, so
let's jump in.
As we jump in, let's start off with your favorite, Dietrich Bonhoeffer.
Whoop, whoop.
I know that's one of your favorite.
Costly Grace, baby.
You're one of theologians.
I love me some Bonhoeffer.
We'll call him a theologian. He's a theologian.
He's a theologian and a spy. He's pretty dope.
So he said the celebration of Advent is possibly only to those who are troubled in soul, who know themselves to be poor and imperfect, and who look forward to something greater to come.
The celebration of Advent is only possible.
It is possible only to those who are troubled in soul. Troubled in soul. Who know themselves to be poor and imperfect, and who look forward to something greater to come. Which you're probably wondering, what? And I'm going to go, you're going to find out why. So why does he say it's made for those who are troubled in soul, and why are they what are they looking forward to? Well, what is Advent, right? The word Advent is derived from the Latin word adventus, meaning coming, which is a translation of the Greek word parousia. So Advent, from the Latin Adventius, in the Christian church calendar is the period of preparation for the celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ at Christmas, and also the preparation for the second coming of Christ. In Western churches, Advent begins on the Sunday nearest to November 30th, or St. Andrew's Day, and is in the beginning of the liturgical year. In many Eastern churches, the Nativity fast is a similar period of penance and preparation that occurs during the 40 days before Christmas. The liturgical meaning of the Advent season referred to the dual coming of Jesus. Then Roman Catholicism, traditional liturgical
color.
Thank you. Liturgical color for the Advent is violet. Many Protestant denominations have adopted blue or purple.
Which, if you see their robes or the banners in a church and they're purple,
right,
it's because it's for the Advent season.
Right, exactly.
Yep. I think green's Easter, right?
So the third Sunday of Advent, known as Gaudete, I think, Gaudete, maybe it's Gaudete, Sunday, is commonly marked by the use of a rose-colored vestment and candles.
Yep. And it's funny, so we had a lot of Catholic or people who left the Catholic faith and became part of Southside.
Sure.
And they would get really mad when people would not light the candles in order because it's purple, and then pink, and then purple, and then white.
Right. Well, not everybody does white either. And we'll get into
really?
that. And we'll get into that.
Really? Hold up. Really?
We're going to get into it.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Today, the season of Advent lasts for 4 Sundays leading up to Christmas. Advent begins on the Sunday that falls between November 27th and December 3rd. Advent 2022 begins on Sunday, November 27th. So actually, we might be this is the first kind of full week. It ends on Saturday, December 24th. Advent symbolizes the present situation of the church in these quote-unquote last days, Acts 2:17 and Hebrews 1:2, as God's people wait for the return of Christ in glory to consummate his eternal kingdom. The church is in a similar situation to Israel at the end of the Old Testament, in exile, waiting and hoping in prayerful expectation for the coming of the Messiah. Israel looked back to God's past gracious actions on their behalf and leading them out of Egypt in the Exodus. And on this basis, they called for God once again to act for them. In the same way, the church during Advent looks back upon Christ's coming in celebration while at the same time looking forward in eager anticipation to the coming of Christ's kingdom when he returns for his people. In this light, the Advent hymn, O come, Emmanuel, perfectly represents the church's cry during the Advent season. So, Louis Giglio says the word Advent means expectation. What Advent can do for us is create a sense of hope. So, as we kind of see, what is Advent? It's that process, it's that time where we recognize Christ's birth, Christ coming as the Messiah, so the first coming, and then looking forward to the second coming.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think about it kind of like, I mean, they referenced it a little bit here with the Israelites where, the Israelites were really, really, really good at having feast and celebration, right? They would do Passover was probably the biggest one that we all know of because that was the time that God brought them out of Egypt.
Right.
And so Passover was them looking back and remembering what God did, but also looking forward to the ultimate Messiah as well. So it's kind of like they were saved then, they will be saved now. Same for like the feast when Esther protected the Israelites and walked into was it King Darius? No, King Darius was Daniel.
It was
Agrippa? Nope, that was New Testament.
Man.
Xerxes? Was it Artaxerxes?
Xerxes?
Maybe, I don't know. But when Esther saved the
Maybe,
people, like
yeah.
then they started celebrating. That might be. That's Hanukkah was the Maccabean period.
Hanukkah,
There's another
yes, right.
feast though that comes out of Esther that
So-
they do, and then Ramadan.
Maybe it wasn't it's not the Feast of Tabernacles.
Nope.
It's not the
Because Jesus
Passover,
celebrated the
it's
Feast of
not
Fast, the Feast of Tabernacles. Yeah.
right. It's not the
I don't know, but then,
I've got a whole
but then
feast
you
book
have,
over there somewhere.
But then you have Hanukkah, which is pretty much during the Maccabean period, I believe, right? The intertestamental period.
Yeah, so they were during a war. The Maccabeans they only had enough oil for their candle or for their light to last one day, but that oil was stretched out into 8 days, which is why the menorah has 8 candles in which they light each
Right,
day.
and so the Jews would have all these celebratory events to remember what God did, but they all ultimately point to the ultimate Messiah and the ultimate return and God protecting his people.
Right.
And if we start thinking like, the sense of hope, what that hope is, Advent should be a time where we're looking back on Jesus actually coming, which then signifies everything before.
It's his death, or it's his, it's his birth, his death and resurrection.
And then his future coming.
Because he died.
That's what the hope
we
is.
looked forward to his resurrection and then his future coming, the second coming.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the history of Advent, though? So we've kind of talked about what it is. Where did it come from? So this is where we're going to take the Wayback Train. And then we're going to look at
the Wayback Train.
What does Advent look like today? So the earliest dating of Advent is impossible to determine. The start of Easter in Christian history is far more obviously tied to the Passover, albeit with different methods for dating. And Christmas came to be associated with the birth of Christ as a result of it following during the December solstice, the darkest day of the year in the northern hemisphere. The coming of the light of the world made a lot of sense in so much darkness. Within a few centuries of church history, both Easter and Christmas took on special meaning due to their use in, commemorating, thank you, the life of Jesus. I'm having a real hard time today. In the early centuries of the church, Advent almost certainly arose as a result of fixed dating of Christmas. Once December 25th became Christmas, it was the center of gravity for the later half of the year, a perfect balance to Easter in the first half. In this way, Advent took on significance the same way Lent did. Both were preparation for the more significant season on the horizon. By the 4th century, the first written evidence of Advent is found in modern Spain and Europe, Hispania and Gaul. Probably the earliest official mention of the Advent practices come as the Council of Saragossa in AD 380 met to answer a Gnostic-inspired movement called Priscillianism. The heresy essentially held to a harsh form of dualism, light versus dark, body versus soul. I'm going to add in here yin versus yang.
Well, I'll say, yeah, but that's exactly what I was thinking too, right?
Karma,
the physical
all
versus
that stuff, right.
the spiritual, yeah.
So perhaps the celebration of the incarnate made theological sense as a counterbalance to this heresy. The council was not committed to any specific dating of Advent, though, and only suggested people attend church daily between December 17th and the 29th. By the 5th and 6th centuries, more firm dating of the Advent season can be found in historical records, as well as the Advent sermon series. Unlike modern Advent ceremonies, most celebrations of Advent in history had a twin focus. The Latin word Adventus was the translation of the Greek parousia, which we just discussed, a word used for both the coming of Christ in human flesh and the second coming. Advent then always tended to focus on both. For the first 2 weeks of Advent, the church would reflect on the second coming. Disciples would chasten their hearts, confess sins, and spend time hoping for the quick coming of the Lord. The last 2 weeks of Advent would then transition to focus on the first, parousia, or whatever the heck it is, Christ in the manger. The double meaning in Advent history signals an important reality in the liturgical calendar. Advent and Christmas are never held as a full reenactment of the life of Christ, but point to our place between the resurrection and the second coming. Advent and Christmas are not merely about the coming of Jesus, but about everything since the birth of Jesus. And that comes from the Gospel Coalition, actually. I thought it was a nice little article.
Yeah, it's kind of cool where you know, a lot of times, though, and maybe this is what we'll talk about today and here just a little bit, it seems like so many times now our Christmas seasons are so focused on retelling the birth story, retelling the major scenes,
Sure.
and retelling all these different things. So is that a bad thing for us to do, to constantly remind ourselves in that, what's the meaning of Christmas? Oh, we remember when Jesus came. Like, is that
so if you look at it, right? So for Christmas, we remember when Jesus, we celebrate, should I say, when Jesus was born. We do that remembrance. Easter, we remember when he died, but that's it, right? And so Advent was created to say, hey, we're not just thankful and looking back and doing these fastings back then, just for the birth and the coming of the
Jesus
king.
already did.
But the returning of the king, because we're in the two comings. We're in between the two comings right now. And so it's our heart's cry. It's as Israel was crying out in the wilderness, in exile in Egypt, all these times that Israel had cried out for God. This is our time of prayerful supplication to the Lord to hasten his return.
And I know that, like, for our church, at least with Southside and New Life is this way, and probably so many of others, including yours, this is why we probably do communion.
Sure.
On Christmas Eve, primarily, because it remembers because Jesus said, do this in remembrance of me.
Right.
And anytime you come together in order to remember the coming of Jesus and what he did for us, do this in remembrance of me. But, man, this was probably last week. Our Pastor Michael, was talking about the rhythms of life as a Christian,
Yeah.
And he was talking about a lot of times we're very good at doing the cornerstone rhythms in our life. And he said, we have cornerstone rhythms of our life where we have Sunday and then we have like work on Monday and then these different practices. He goes, so many times, though, we have to remember that we have to have certain rhythms in our life spiritually to remember what Jesus did and then what Jesus is going to do. And so we talked about the big rhythms, which are, he goes, Christmas and Easter. And then he goes, then we have like monthly rhythms based on your church, whatever your church does. Then you normally have your weekly rhythm of we go to church every single Sunday.
Sure.
But he went from big picture down to every single day rhythm and how they all kind of connect with each other.
Yeah.
And if you have some, but not all, you can have some massive disconnects in your faith too. And that's where it seems like a lot of people, specifically in our Facebook group, I'm talking to you guys real quick, where we ask questions in the Facebook group of, are you struggling with your faith? Are you plugged in? All these different things. And what we're starting to realize the trend is that once people stop pulling out the rhythms of, I don't want to say you go to church because that's just what you do, but at the same time, it's what you should be doing, because as people are starting to fall out of church, generally they get a lot more, I don't want to say weak in their faith, but I would say a lot more, drive's not the right word, sincerity is not the right word. What's the right word I'm looking for here, dude? It's the excitement of it, the confidence. They start to lose the confidence in that. And then as you pull out all these other rhythms, if we start putting up these cornerstone pillars in our faith to point us back to Jesus, that's when our faith can really start to grow. In the same way with the Israelites, they put the 12 stones structure on the other side of Jordan to remember what Jesus did there.
Well, that's why they had all the feasts too, right?
Right,
It kept them in that rhythm of, hey, look, the rhythm of life, it gets busy even for them back then. But hey, at these times, we got to focus in. Hey, at these times, we got to focus in.
It's an intentional pause.
Hey, exactly. It's just like what we do at New Year's, right? Every year we've had a New Year's episode, and it's typically about resetting our focus.
Yep.
Most of the time, it's about what are we celebrating, what are we looking forward to, and how are we refocusing in on Christ and our Christian walk. So it's 100% right. I would agree with Pastor Michael that it is 100% of staying in the rhythm of it, right? And it's some people say rhythm, some people say self-discipline.
Oh, okay.
So very often I hear you got to be disciplined in your faith, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to have that self-discipline of, hey, here's where I'm at daily. Here's where I'm at weekly. Here's where I'm at monthly. Here's where I'm at yearly of what my discipline is in my Christian faith. And for me and for you, it may look a little different, right? You may say, hey, I'm going to listen to some Christian sermons today, podcasts, and do a devotion. Me, I might say, hey, I'm going to dive into a commentary and reading the Bible extensively every day. And then weekly, we'll go to church and do all these things, prayer meetings, whatever it may
Small
be,
groups,
right?
whatever your rhythm is.
Yeah, whatever that rhythm is. But you have to consistently stick with that. And I have found even in my own life, when I don't stick with those disciplines and I let them slip even once or twice, getting back into it's hard. It's even like podcasting, right? When we take
That's exactly what I was just thinking too,
When we take a bunch of time off, it's like, Man, this is going to seem like such a hard thing to get back into this, and I got to come up with the
but I know my own faith takes a hit when we don't record podcasting, because
definitely.
What do we do when we're podcasting? We're spending sometimes a couple nights thinking
Studying.
about. I mean, let's be honest. Like normally when we have an episode, it's not like the day before. What we're going to talk about. A lot of times it's. I mean, lately it's been that way because of life circumstances. But a lot of times we're like, okay, what are things we're talking about? We're mulling over ideas and content, because if you and I are both thinking we're going to talk about this in a couple weeks. Let's start thinking about it.
And sometimes we're like,
say about it.
We're meeting weekly most times. And so it's like, it's almost like being a pastor, except for a pastor only has to worry about one sermon every week.
We got 2, baby.
We're 2 to 3. So it's like, okay, that's why, Mark and I, we kind of split up. All right, you pick a topic, I'll pick a topic, and we'll study it, we'll research it, and then we'll share the notes like the day before, and then we can kind of look it over, and then we do the podcast. So, and that's what helps with the conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
but to bring it back to Advent then. So, the history of Advent was to focus primarily not just on Jesus' birth, but the fact that he will also, come again. The first way, come again.
So what are some things, like what is like we've talked about what is Advent, where it came from, but what does it look like? What does it mean? What are some of the things associated with Advent? This little bit of information came from our Catholic
Apostolate Center.
Yeah,
they're Catholic friends.
Yeah, our Catholic people. So I thought it was a really good article, and I really like the symbolism. That's one great thing that I love about the tradition of the Catholic Church is the symbolism. They've got such beautiful symbolism.
You mean like the one on my arm?
Yeah. So anyways, so what does Advent look like today? Number 1, the Advent wreath is one of the best known symbols of Advent. Traditionally made of evergreen branches formed in a circle with 4 candles held within. The evergreen circle is a symbol of eternal life. Green for the evergreen is considered a symbol of hope and started as a domestic tradition and entered into churches in the 20th century. Number 2, the Advent candles are usually comprised of 3 purple candles and 1 rose or pink candle, which we discussed. The candles recall the weeks that pass until Christmas. Purple candles symbolize waiting. Rose or pink is used on the 3rd Sunday of Advent to symbolize rejoicing, since the 3rd Sunday of Advent is referred to as the Gaudete, or Rejoice.
The Rejoice Sunday.
The Rejoice Sunday. We're going to go with the Rejoice. We're going English here. They are lit. Light used as a symbol of Christ being the light of the world coming through the darkness. Sometimes a white candle is placed in the middle. People use this when lit as the representation of Christ entering the world, which is typically like Southside does.
That's the Christmas Eve,
Christmas Eve.
Or if Christmas is on a Sunday, then the white candle gets lit on Sunday.
Right.
Because Jesus is here, baby.
This year, is it Sunday?
This year's Sunday.
Yeah,
Christmas is on Sunday this year. Which I love. That's my dude. As a pastor, like I know we got to figure out with like our family and whatnot, because our family situation is weird now. But my favorite Sundays in the entire whatever church calendar, liturgical calendar is when
Christmas Sunday.
When holidays landed on Sundays in general, specifically Christmas. Like, I love Christmas on a Sunday, man.
So
it was just exciting.
So that's kind of the cool of some of the meetings of the and I'll post this article in the show notes so people can go to the show notes and find it for themselves. I don't know. You've probably heard of the Jesse tree, right? So there's a lot of people that have you never heard of the Jesse tree?
I don't know, actually.
Okay. So the Jesse tree, I never knew about until I met Janelle. And Janelle introduced me to the Jesse tree. And we actually did this with the kids a couple of years ago.
I'm going to look this up just so I can see what it looks like.
The Jesse tree is named for Jesse, the father of King David, whose line can be traced to Saint Joseph, the earthly father of Jesus. Used as a symbol to explain the Old Testament generational connection between Adam, Abraham, and Jesus as explained in the Gospels, Matthew and Luke. Popular symbols represent people of the Old Testament, including King David as a crown and Noah as a boat. It's really cool. It was really fun. So Janelle's parents did that.
Yeah, this is really cool, actually.
I can't remember. I think Janelle's mom made a Jesse tree for them when they were growing up, and they did the Jesse tree all the time. But I thought it was so cool when Janelle first introduced me to it, about how it basically takes you from creation.
It's literally creation and consummation.
Yeah, it's creation all the way to the coming of Christ.
To the incarnation, my bad.
Right.
Not yeah.
Yeah, so it's the beginning of the earth
From creation to the manger.
Exactly. So it's really cool.
That's really neat. I've never seen it before. That's really cool.
They have like a Jesse Tree book, like devotional book that goes along with like the ornaments, and that you go through the stories all the way up till Christmas.
That's really cool. I've never seen it before.
So
That's really
cool.
neat.
So another thing is an Advent house or an Advent calendar showing the passing of the days of the season.
Full of chocolate, baby.
Which we do here at the Fuller House as well. So
I almost got I wanted to get the Advent coffee calendar from Honest Coffee, but it was like
so
$200, and I ain't paying for that.
Yeah, no. So popular with children, they serve as a way to provide activities and reflections of the season to draw them deeper into faith. December 24th is usually a scene of the nativity, used as a visual tool of preparation and patiently waiting for Christ to come into our lives. Number 5, the giving tree is a variation of the Jesse tree that became popular in the 20th century, which we actually have a giving tree where I work, but I don't think they...
we had one at church for years, yeah.
Yeah, they don't really understand where it came from, but we have a giving tree.
But it's a tradition.
Yeah, so the custom has communities decorate a tree with tags indicating gifts for children in need at Christmas. Intended to remind Christians of the teaching of Jesus, what you do for to the least of these, you do to me, Matthew 25:40. So the final thing we're going to talk about is number 6, the nativity scene, or the krasha, is used to commemorate the humble birth of Christ. Created by St. Francis of Assisi.
St. Francis made the what?
In the 13th century.
I'd love these even more
to emphasize the humility of the Savior of the world coming as a poor child. There are many different designs and themes used, including stone or wax figures, as well as human and animal actors. In some locations, a variation is included that has the manger empty until Christmas Eve as a celebration of Christ's arrival as a child. Culturally, certain countries will change the look of the krasha, including more towers, houses, mountains than what was traditionally used in the 13th century.
I did not know St. Francis made the
Isn't
manger.
that cool?
This was super fun. So Beth and I last year, we were in Chicago for Christmas, right? So we went to the German market, whatever the German market is.
Right,
So we went to one of those, and they were selling at one of the booths nativity scenes made from olive trees from Jerusalem.
So you can get those at christianbook.com as well.
Yeah, but it's just so cool because I was talking with the guy. I'm like, you have an accent. He goes, yeah, I'm from Jerusalem. Like,
that's awesome.
From here. And so I bought one for Beth and I, and then we bought one for Joe and Amanda.
Sure.
And I think Joe reminded me, dude. Shout out to my brother-in-law, Joe. I think it's frankincense. I think there's actually a little piece of frankincense like inside the actual nativity scene.
Sure.
So, but yeah, I'm here about nativity scenes all over my house.
So so I love nativity scenes too. As a matter of fact, we do this thing with the kids where we do
the little people nativity scene.
Well, it's a plush like manger.
Okay.
And it has 24 pieces of straw, 24 pieces of like felt cut out straw.
Okay.
And it comes with baby Jesus wrapped in swaddling clothes. And so each day you go through and you thank God. You do a prayer. The kids do a prayer to thank God for something in their life, right? And then they put the straw in the manger for 24 days. They put a piece of straw in it for 24 days.
Preparing the way for baby Jesus.
And then on Christmas, they have to do a hunt, like a kind of like elf on a shelf.
I remember us talking about this. Yeah, they gotta go find baby Jesus.
They gotta go find baby
He's
Jesus
lost.
and put him
at Walmart, man,
and put him in the manger. And so whoever finds them, then the next person, whatever kid puts them in the manger.
So if they can't find baby Jesus, so it's okay, guys. Awesome. Joseph and Mary couldn't find Jesus either.
We also
do you guys roll?
We also do a thing called it's like the opposite, or it's like similar to the elf on the shelf, but it's not. So we do a story. It's called like Find the Shepherd. So it's like a little plush shepherd, and we hide him throughout the house. The kids have to find him, but it's all about the shepherd being lost. And we got to continue to keep finding because he keeps losing his way on the way to the manger. And then on Christmas, they find him and they put him next to baby Jesus.
I've never heard of some of these traditions.
It's really fun with the kids.
So I know we're not quite going into, we still talk more about the conversation,
sure.
But something that Beth and I we started last year because her church did this. So during COVID, actually, to kind of help, COVID was such a hard, no, it wasn't COVID coming out of that. It was when she was moving out. And so it was the year of, COVID and all these other different things. So it was 2020. But what her church did was they made Advent packages for every family in the church. So every family in the
that's
church
awesome.
got like candles and the wreath and
That's so
and
cool.
color activities and different things. And you're supposed to do it once a week, kind of in remembrance, preparing for Christmas. So
Right.
we started that last year, and so we're planning on doing that again this
That's
year.
sweet.
So that's kind of our big thing that we do.
Maybe
with
that's the
Advent.
Christmas episode. We'll go through a bunch of like historical Christmas traditions.
Oh, that'd be a lot of fun. Last year's Christmas episode was a lot of fun, talking
was.
about a bunch of was it real or not?
the historical Jesus. Yeah.
No.
Right. No.
Yeah.
Anyways, so what is the significance of Advent? I mean, we kind of really hit it home, but I just want to make sure nobody
just make sure we
forgets.
nail it, baby. Nail it.
So we've talked about it's the looking back, looking forward. I forget what Elizabeth Hindman from Lifeway Woman explains why Advent is important to her, right? So she says, first, Advent has challenged me to focus on Jesus in the weeks leading up to Christmas. Second, Advent builds anticipation. When I think and read about the prophets predicting Jesus' birth, I am thankful for the hope of Jesus. Observing Advent has taught me to focus on what Jesus' coming means for me. Advent has helped me anticipate the coming of Christ, both the celebration of his first coming to earth and as one of us and his eventual return victorious. Also, this article from Why Christmas, which is a really good article too, says there are three meanings of coming that Christians describe in Advent. The first and most thought of happened about 2,000 years ago when Jesus came to the world as a baby to live as a man and die for us. The second can happen now as Jesus wants to come into our lives now. And the third will happen in the future when Jesus comes back in the world as king and judge, not a baby. So I really wanted to bring this piece of this article in because I really liked how they said, well, it's kind of a threefold thing, right? Because it's not just about what he did then, but it's also about him coming into our lives now, right? And becoming king of our hearts. And then eventually he will come back as king of the entire, well, he already is king of the entire universe, but like he will establish his kingdom. So it's kind of really cool to see that the significance has so much meaning of Advent. And these are the things that as this month progresses towards Christmas and as the hustle and bustle of holiday and, Christmas parties and getting trees and making cookies and wrapping gifts and getting gifts and sending out holiday cards, all this stuff is going on. These are some things that we can think about along the way to help us remember really what this season is about. We know that it's not that Jesus wasn't actually born on the 25th. If you go back to last year's episode, you'll understand why. But the reason why we celebrated at this time is that remembrance, right? It's that focusing in. It's halfway through this year. In another 6 months, it'll be Easter. Well, I guess it's like 4 months.
So,
But
4 months.
it's about the halfway point is when they started it back then. So, this is a good time, almost like a biannually. It's time to check yourself. Let's check yourself for a whole month.
And rather than just doing it, it's like what you just said. Yeah. So instead of just, okay, so it's Christmas Eve. So now we go to Christmas Eve service. And then Christmas morning, we wake up and yay, presents. And you're already back off to it.
Right.
It's for us as Christians, we're living in a world where, the Apostle Paul said it, and even Timothy is, the days are evil.
Right.
And, renew your mind because the days are evil. And so many times our minds get weighed down with the issues of life and the thoughts of life and work and family and kids and promotions and losing jobs and family struggles and kid struggles and happy moments and sad moments. But if we remember and we keep the main thing, and what is the main thing is the fact that God has created the whole world and he sent a savior to redeem the world. And if we have been redeemed in Christ, we are part of his family. And he's going to come again, and he's going to make all things new. And if we can keep that the focus of our minds here this Christmas season, that's what's going to make this Christmas season, I think, impactful more than any other season. Right. And that's why Advent is so stinking cool, where we can literally for 4 weeks
focus in on Christ.
Focus in and just remember what Jesus has done.
Right. So
and what we'll do.
Focus on the Family said this in an article called Why is Advent Important? It says, our hope is in the truth and in the power of God. Learning what the Bible says about Advent can help you and your family prepare for this upcoming season. Just as Christ came the first time, he is sure to come the second time. As a family discusses passages of Scripture like Isaiah 9, 2-7, Peace is a power. I'm sorry, that was a period there. Period. I missed the power. Peace is a powerful theme at the birth of Jesus Christ. Not only do all the angels tell Mary, the wise men, and the shepherds, "Don't be afraid," they announce the coming of peace with the birth of a baby boy. In Luke 2:8-14, they proclaim, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace among those with whom he is pleased." Luke 2:14. Talking with our family about the love God showed us at the birth of Christ gets at the very heart of who God is and all he has done for us. A wonderful passage to discuss is 1 John 4:9-11. There, God shows his love to us by sending his Son into the world. And now, in response, we become people of love. Then the message of joy is like lighting a fire in a cold, dead fireplace. It is a gift of God to his people. We can enjoy God's grace in every time of life. God's joy is even in our darkness. As the hymn teaches us to sing about Jesus' birth, the weary world rejoices. A place where the Bible mentions Advent is the joy of the wise men when they saw the star, Matthew 2:10-11. So during this time, just continue to focus in as a family, as a single person, as a church brother or sister, as a pastor, as a wife, as a husband.
As a teen, as a college kid.
This is the time when we can come together as a child.
As a little puppy.
What?
I was trying to throw you off. As a little person.
You did. A little puppy, you said. I'm like, wait, puppy. Wait a second.
But no matter who you are.
So no matter who you are, you can come before the throne humbly and just thank God for coming to this earth, for making this plan, because without this plan, we'd all be lost. Without God, we would never be. And yet we are, and we have such great opportunities to have special moments like this holiday season with family and friends, sharing special times and memories together.
And check this out, RTC fam. We want to help you during this Advent season. Keep your eyes and mind focused on Jesus. I am. So check this out. It's going to be not exactly to the church calendar because this episode is coming out technically, right at the first week of Advent. So we're a little late. But we want to send you 5 emails over the course of this month to help keep your eyes and your mind and your thoughts engaged on Jesus this Advent season. So what you can do right now, this is not on any social media at all. You have to go to realtalkchristianpodcast.com. There'll be a pop-up that shows up on the website where it says, do you want to receive the 5 Advent devotionals for this season? You put in your name, your email, you click go, and over the course of December, we'll send you 5 different emails, one for each one of the candles, like the different weeks of Advent leading up to Jesus actually coming and what that means for us. So I know a lot of you guys in the Facebook group have said, hey, it'd be great if we could do a Bible study or great if we can do devotional content or whatever. Here's your opportunity. Exactly. So all you got to do is go to realtalkchristianpodcast.com right now and then fill in that little pop-up information. You'll get a little thank you email, and then you'll get 5 more emails over the course of December. But if you sign up a little bit too late and you get into the email chain and all of a sudden you're like, yo, Mark Fuller, I'm missing like day 1 and 2 because your boy's a little late. Just email us and we'll send them to you. It's really not that big of a deal.
And you've probably heard it if you're on social media.
If you're on Facebook, you already know.
We're going to announce this.
You already know.
Before this episode appears, but just in case you have not been on our social media and have not seen or heard this yet.
Another reason why you should be in the Facebook group.
Now you know. So I've got 2 quotes, and those are my final thoughts, and then I'm good.
And then I'm good too, man. So let's do those 2 quotes and do some fun facts and get out of here in under an hour.
So, no, it's not going to happen.
Oh, man.
My boy, R.C. Sproul.
Oh, looking at your ministries, baby.
So he says, the Advent season is that time when we seek to, in a manner of speaking, mute our memory of what we are what has already happened, that we might brighten our joy that it happened. We leave the already of his advent to taste the bitter of the not yet. We, in short, go back, that we might look forward to his coming. And then Justin Martyr.
Good old Justin Martyr. If people don't know, he's one of the first martyrs.
That's what, yeah.
2nd century.
Anyways, but if so great a power is shown to have followed and to still be still following the dispensation of his suffering, how great shall that be which shall follow his glorious advent. For he shall come on the clouds of the Son of Man, so Daniel foretold, and his angels shall come with him.
Time for Fun Facts with February.
That laugh, man. You know, I
Gotta
think the
love
reason why we had issues reading was because this font was a little.
So
Our notes look good on a computer, but
the next notes I expanded already.
I'm like these letters are little on my screen, and they're little on your screen too.
He's so tiny.
We're trying our best, guys.
Yeah.
But dude,
I think the font 18 size works the best for
I
this.
agree. Font 18. That's what I try to do my notes at too. Yep.
The fun fact of the day.
To bring us into Advent, what is it?
You know, we're getting ready to share those nice holiday feasts. I guess we're, it's type of...
Busting out the fine china.
Well, did you know that tablecloths were originally designed to be used as one big communal napkin?
Shut up. What?
When they were first invented, guests were meant to wipe off their hands and faces on the tablecloth after a messy dinner party. So when you were growing up and your mom's
I used to get beat for that.
Don't wipe your hands and your face on the tablecloth. You can be like, hey, Mom.
Dude, I used to get so much. Now, let's be honest. My kids get in trouble big time for doing that,
but
too.
see, you can't because that's what they were made for.
So if I'm eating snack, having a little snack during RTC, and I just start wiping my hands off on this blue tablecloth, that's what it's meant for.
They wash.
And Janelle can't be mad at us.
They wash. No, she'll just make me wash it.
That's true. Make you wash it. Do you say wash or wash?
Wash.
Like George Washington?
Like Washington.
I don't know why people say Washington add an R in there. It makes no sense.
We got to do the hard R. Washington.
You know what else doesn't make sense?
What is that?
If people or listen to the show, and you're not part of the Facebook group yet.
I know.
It just does not make sense. We've had a lot of new followers on Instagram, a lot of new subscribers on YouTube, a lot of new followers on Facebook. But the best way to continue engaging with these conversations and having a whole lot of fun is over in the Facebook group. Like, we ask, what's your favorite smell? What's your favorite sound? What's your favorite water type?
And
we've had a lot of fun questions and serious questions, too.
If you don't have social media, because we have many listeners that do not have social media.
That's true.
And that's fine. You can reach out to us at 574-400-5352, Real Talk Christian Podcast at gmail.com. Either one of those ways. Don't forget to go and sign up for the Advent.
Sign up, baby.
Sign up today, right now.
Really, just realtalkchristianpodcast.com.
If you're driving.
No, you can just when
if you're driving, pull over. Stop the car.
Bro.
And get in and beep.
If you're on a Tesla, you can just do autopilot and do it, I guess. But
dude, we ain't that bougie. Oh.
You like talking about that because we're talking about bougie in a couple weeks. But seriously, that's all you gotta do is go to the website. A pop-up will just magically show up. Put in your name, email, go, and then you're ready to rock and roll, baby. And that's it.
That's it. It's that simple. And if you haven't already, please, please, please leave us a podcast review at Apple Podcast, or you can leave us a rating on Spotify. But it's not as fun because then we can't read your comments on the show.
But if you do recommend us on Facebook, we can read your comments on the show.
Yes, we can.
Because we need to do that.
Any of that. All the things.
All the things. Well, I think we nailed all the things.
Well, we did, all except for one. So if you get a hold of us, there may or may not be a special piece of swag that may be out. Get a hold of us at Real Talk Christian Podcast at gmail.com to see if it is available yet.
Uh-oh. Our music just stopped.
All right.
I guess we got to end the episode, don't we?
Sounds good.
I love it, guys. We love you guys. Have a happy Advent season, and until next time,
take it easy.